Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we have another shop talk video, and today's topic is going to be what happens when you fill up your gasoline powered vehicle with diesel fuel on mistake. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now before we go ahead and get into this topic, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below and definitely smash the like button because it helps the channel out. With that said, let's go ahead and get started on today's video. So let's say you went to the gas station and you weren't paying attention and you somehow filled up diesel in your vehicle. What happens? This is a concern that some people have, and I actually dealt with one of these concerns this past month, so I thought I'd make a video on this because I find that a lot of people just assume that's it, my car's done for, and that's not the case. So let's get into this and talk about it. Now, first and foremost, I do want to say that if you drive a car that runs on gasoline and not diesel, it should be almost impossible for you to fill up diesel because there is a nozzle difference. Most gasoline powered engines, when it comes to filling up the tank, the actual hole in the gas tank in the filler neck is very slim, and technically only a gasoline pump should fit in there. And that is the case about 99% of the time. Now, if someone fills up diesel, it's pretty, easy to spot, because if you ever grab a pump and it doesn't fit in your filler neck, that tells you that it's oversized, and more than likely you have a diesel pump in your hand. Now, most gas stations will have one pump. Let's say you're at pump number 1, and they'll have 2 handles. One is green and one is black. Now, sometimes the colors, they're not indicated correctly. They may not be green indicating one is diesel, because diesels are typically green pumps. You may just have 2 black pumps, and it could be a little confusing. What you always want to be careful is that if you pull that pump off and it doesn't fit inside your tank and it can't hold it, don't sit there and hold the pump and fill up your car because you think the pump is bad. No, you're probably filling up a diesel. That's the first telltale sign. But let's say you didn't know this and you still did it. Hopefully by me explaining the differences, it should stop it at that. But let's say you went and filled it up and your car got diesel. Let's say you had half a tank of gas, and you added half a tank of diesel. You're gonna probably go to your car and start it. Now, if you don't start it and you catch it, it would probably be the best case scenario, but either way, you're already just into the system, so you're kind of screwed to begin with either way. So let's say you try to start it up. One of 2 things are gonna happen. Either the car's not gonna start and you're stuck there, or it may start and run like crap. And you may make it about a mile or 2 before the car completely cuts off. It just really depends on how long it takes for that diesel to pretty much dilute the gasoline and pretty much turn it into whatever it's going to turn into, the concoction, if you must say. So once that fully absorbs and you get more diesel than gasoline in the ejectors, your vehicle's not going to run, it's going to turn off, because one inherent trait of diesel versus gasoline is gasoline catches fire like this. Diesel, you could sit there with a lighter and try to start it. It does not start on fire. It actually, gets compressed to ignite. So that's why your car stops running when this happens. So let's say you drove it a mile or 2 and the car shut off. You're stuck. What do you do next? Probably gonna wind up towing it to a shop. Now, depending on how good of a shop you take it to, you may get 1 or 2 answers. They might tell you, oh no, you need to replace your whole fuel system. This one bad, that one bad. Diesel's gonna eat this, that. Not the case. Now, I'm not going to say it's always not the case, but if you ever go to a shop and that happens to you and they're telling you, oh, we got to replace everything, I would probably take your car and take it to another shop, because they probably are just trying to get you and make money off of you. Now, I had a vehicle that this exact same thing happened to. They filled it up with diesel. They were able to get it back to the gas station where they filled up the diesel from, and they had a mechanic shop built into the gas station, and that shop told them, oh no, you got to replace your fuel pump, your gas tank, anything rubber within the system. The diesel's going to eat it away and just create havoc. With that said, then they called me and they were able to tow the car down here. I explained it to them, bring it in, let me take a look. I don't believe we have to replace anything or everything. Let's just take a look at it and go from there. Car comes in on a tow truck, get it into the lift. My first step always is, well, I got to drain the tank. And I told the customer we got to get everything out of there. So my way of draining the tank is simply, we either have to drop it and tilt it, or we have to remove the fuel pump and suction it out. It's very rare that you find a gas tank on modern cars that has a drain plug, but if they have a drain plug, first step is get the diesel out of there, empty the tank. Once you do that, what you're going to want to do is introduce fresh gas into your gas tank. What I did with this customer was I drained it. I had about 3 gallons worth of gas from my container. I had to go to the gas station twice and fill it up. So we had 6 gallons in the tank. And what I did was I tried to start the car and let the diesel, whatever was in there, run through until I was able to get the car to start. Now, once the car started, it ran pretty bad. We had a lot of, diesel smells, a lot of smoke coming out of the exhaust because diesel is technically more oil rich than anything. So the car kind of seemed like it was, burning oil, which is to be expected. I ran the car for about 30 minutes to an hour, and I was just monitoring it, make sure it's running right. I cleared up any codes that might have been misfired codes after the first 30 minutes of it running, and then I just did another 30-minute run just to see how the car was reacting. And all in all, the car was fine. We did run some injector cleaner through it, and I used one of those mechanics in the bottle that you normally pour inside the tank to help stabilize gas and clean up your injection system. And then what I did was I drove the car to the gas station and filled it up full tank with the proper gas that it needed to take. And after that, I just, once again, I told the customer, just give me another day with it. I was just driving it for about 30 minutes here and there, making sure there weren't any issues. After that was all said and done, the only thing that I recommended to the customer was just to replace the spark plugs, because I don't know if they got coated in anything. Like I mentioned earlier, diesel is a little bit filmy, has a tendency to be almost like oil. So in case anything was caked up on there from the burning mixture, I just recommended they replace the spark plugs. They opted to do so because they, were at the mileage where it was almost kind of due as a maintenance either way. And the car ran perfectly fine after that, didn't have an issue. So that is what happens when you put diesel in your vehicle. Now, I will say that this scenario that happened to this vehicle will be about the same scenario that it will be out there for most vehicles if this happens to you. But not every case is the same. Some cars are a little bit different and a little bit more meticulous. So your car may experience a little bit more damage than this customer had. But all in all, if the shop tells you everything must be replaced, I would be very skeptical, because it's not always true that once you pour diesel into the car is doomed. You can, empty it, clean it out, and do what I did and, get the car running. And then from that point on, you figure out if you incurred an issue or not. But the first step is always to drain it, fill it, clean it, and, get it running again. So that's just my take for anyone that was curious about this. I've dealt with this issue about 5 times in my career, and every single time I've done the same steps and it's always worked out. Customers have been happy. They didn't have to replace their car or their whole fuel system. So with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, because it definitely helps the channel grow. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.